Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Level Up SPACEBAR Beyond Entertainment. I'm Hezri, CEO of Nexus Source Berhad, and I will be the moderator for this forum session with the topic of XR, the technology of the future world. Okay, so first of all, may I briefly introduce to you all of our first panelist, which is Dr. Andrew Yu from Ministry XR. Hello, Doctor. Okay, our second panelist is Mr. Faris from Motion Picture and EDT. Okay, Faris, you okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Mr. Hevin Liu, our third panelist from XR Associates Malaysia. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Mr. Hevin. And last but not least, Miss Casey Milhouse from VR AR Association Singapore. Okay, let's.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Okay, I hope everybody is on the energetic today. Let's welcome all the panelists and give them a big round of applause. Okay, so we all here wanted to know a bit about yourself, your company background, and your involvements. So to all panelists, can you share a little bit about your background of your company and maybe the XR projects that you are working on? First, start with Dr. Andrew.
Okay. So my name is Andrew Yu. Before I started Ministry XR company, I was a researcher in the National University of Singapore. I was focused on augmented reality technology and applications in manufacturing, robotics, healthcare, education. So after that, I co-founded Ministry XR. We are based in Singapore and Malaysia as well. And we are positioned as a spatial computing technology and solution development company. Recently, we completed an augmented reality application for skin analysis. This was for beauty company. So the application analyzes your skin, shows you the results in augmented reality, and recommends beauty products to help your whatever skin conditions that you may have.
Okay.
Another project that we recently completed was also an augmented reality application. This one allows dementia sufferers to conduct their own reminiscence therapy. Reminiscence therapy is where they look at old photographs and old videos and remember past events. So this augmented reality application helped them to bring to life memories from photographs through AR graphics and videos and sound.
Okay.
Also, another recent project that we completed is an education solution that makes it easy to prototype and demonstrate AR glass applications to a group of spectators. It's not been officially launched yet, so I can't say more, but we'll be releasing more releases as when available. And currently, we are developing a web-based virtual food festival.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. There's a lot of exciting projects there. Okay, let's have Mr. Faris from Motion Picture to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Faris. I'm the creative director of Motion Picture and also experiential design team. So we focus on creating AR and VR content and also anything that has to do with experiential that focuses on-ground events. So we deal with a lot of event companies and provide gamified experiences on ground. And then we also do products-based services. One of it is called Arvina, which is a virtual studio. So we create real-time graphics in use for broadcast. So hopefully there are two big broadcasters in Malaysia who's going to adopt that program soon. And we also have enterprise solution in terms of gamifying the rehabilitation treatment. So that is used to treat stroke patients. So that is currently in research with the Faculty of Medicine in UiTM. So that is an ongoing project that we're currently working on.
Nice. So do you know when it's going to be ready for mass?
Hopefully soon. We are still at the research stage. So we're getting quite a lot of patient testing at the moment. So once we have reached our minimum amount of patient tests, and then we can start commercializing it.
Cool. I am sure a lot of people in medic line gonna interested in that. All right.
Definitely.
Let's move on. Yeah. So, Mr. Hevin, okay, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I myself is coming from the industry background as a movie maker. So I actually from director before. Then I become a lecturer for animation and games. Then I started my own game company, MediaSoft Entertainment, which produce mobile game and PS4 games. Then later on, we started venture into VR since 2014. Then we developed the free roaming VR experience for theme park. Currently, the experience available in 11 countries. Malaysia, there's one in
Nice.
the Reef Mid Valley. Yeah. So then you can find our content there. So then early last year, I decided to start SR Associates as a consulting company. Then we provide the know-how for solution, hardware, software, as well as the financial aids for the company in. I mean, at first I actually target in Malaysia. Then right now, actually, it grew to 40 members. Actually, our company, our members actually come from another 9 countries already. So mainly we focus in non-gaming and gaming, from military training. The recently one, the military training for the various country, including submarine, helicopter, and so on. Then we have the medical training as well. That's the one project we collaborate with Kaohsiung University for the MR surgery. The most recent one is the driver training system. We provide getting the the help from MDEC as well. That will be the one of the major project for us to move on in the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Cool, cool. Okay. So, last but not least, we have Miss Casey with us today. She's a representative for the international. So, Miss Casey, can you share a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am currently the president of the VR AR Association Singapore chapter, and we are a global association of industry professionals from all different sectors coming together to share best practices, grow, and learn as much as we can from each other. Also, during the daytime, I work for a virtual reality company, and we service the healthcare industry, like dementia. We mainly focus with elderly. In fact, today I'm coming at you inside of a hospital. You can't see because I'm in AR right now.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
And then we also have a sister company where we produce augmented reality branded effects for large FMCGs. You may see some of our work coming up for Malaysian National Day and one of the largest food chains on the planet. So you guys will be able to experience and celebrate Malaysian National Day with our work. So I'm really excited to be here.
Can't wait for that. Yeah. All right. So, okay. Without further ado, I think the audience would like to know about the topics that we have prepared, which is the XR, the technology of the future world. Okay. For the first question, let's start with defining the terminologies first, so everybody get the same understanding. Okay. Dr. Andrew, in your own words, what is VR, AR, XR, and MR? Sounds like quiz, right? Okay. And what are the major differences between these?
Okay. XR stands for extended reality. It is an umbrella term that comprises AR, VR, MR. There are also other kinds of realities like reconfigurable reality, where you can change things in your physical environment, but that's quite more obscure. So then we have VR, which is virtual reality. This is where the user is completely immersed in a computer-generated environment, but you are free to walk around and interact naturally with your hands and your eyes. Then you have AR, which is augmented reality. In this case, the user is still in his own physical environment, but virtual objects populate this physical environment. To be honest, when I first started as an AR researcher, there was no MR. It was just AR. Then some glass manufacturers, they created AR glasses, which were practically like heads-up displays, where they just put information, text information or video information overlaying your field of view, but it did not blend in with your physical environment. So then that has sort of become AR today. And MR is the one with more interaction between the physical and the virtual, which means to say the system is able to understand the geometry of the physical environment, understand what the objects are in, what objects there are in there, have a semantic understanding of the scene, and virtual objects can come in to play a part in the experience.
I see. Okay, maybe Mr. Faris would like to add on that.
Well, I think it's quite comprehensive already. But in layman terms, I would say VR is you completely block out your view and you recreate your world. Augmented reality, you're seeing what you're seeing at the moment, but then you have a CG object or any augmented or object appears on top of that reality. Mixed reality would be the 3D object being interacting with the environment itself. It can go behind a real object. And all of these things, VR, AR, MR, it sits under XR. Basically, XR is everything that we mentioned just now.
I see. Okay. All right. Okay. So as we all know, we have seen a huge investment from giant companies such as Google, Facebook, Microsoft, HTC betting on this technology. So Mr. Hevin, based on your experiences in the industry, what are some of the major challenges for XR adoption globally you have faced?
Globally, because the equipment, the technology changing are so rapid, so actually we've seen more than 20 to 30 kinds of different technology coming out in the last 3 years. So for the developer to cope up is a challenge because those are about investment. And from the early version of the equipment, you start from the 100,000, and now today you can grab it with just 1,000 over ringgit. So it's changed so fast. And for the developer like us, the content developer, when we want to test it out, we had to choose the platform. So just like mobile game, either you want to choose for App Store or the Google Play, and which one have the more user, and the developer will go for it. And until today, we only see there's 3 major platforms which is around the world. The first one is Steam VR, and another one which is the Oculus, and then we might see the Whiteboard. And the market is still changing, so it's so difficult for developer to focus just one. And don't forget there's PSVR as well.
Exactly.
And,
Yes.
yeah. So this is one. Then secondly, because all the developer are from all around the world, like Malaysia, very difficult for us to get all the hardware. And until today, we still cannot receive HoloLens 2, you see. And I heard that it's also difficult even in Singapore to receive it. You have to answer so many questions and so on, right? And about the AR is much more difficult. So far the AR actually stand the biggest adoption because people are using smartphone to do that. Okay, as simple as just a filter like what we have seen cases doing. This is AR. So yeah. So I think the world can be adapt new technology fast as long as we have the technology become easy to be adapted by consumer. So that's the main things that we are looking at.
Okay. Miss Casey, what about you? You mind sharing your insights?
Yeah, absolutely. As he mentioned, the access to the equipment, for one, is hindering the consumer side adoption here. Even from the enterprise level, I have to use my network through the VR AR Association to do bulk orders for some of the clients, and that's a problem. Hopefully soon we'll have some distribution companies that will be able to distribute the Oculus and the Vive here in Southeast Asia. Then we also have the problem of the demand side. So we have lots of supply, we have lots of AR, we have lots of VR companies, we have a lot of people that are getting into this industry from many different sectors. However, there's a lack of understanding, and a lot of people still see it as gimmicky. Yes, I'm kind of making an oxymoron because I'm wearing a Trolls filter at this point in time. But the fact is, immersive technology does lower costs in corporate settings, enterprise settings. It does improve safety. It improves like people's quality of lives. And that's not even talking about gaming. So there's plenty of things that need to be portrayed and known by the demand side in order for us to match here. Then we have another problem is what I call the tech talk circle jerk, where you just have people that don't keep on talking about the tech and not really matching where consumers are. So for example, I'm a female. I've been working in virtual reality for about 4 years, on and off again, and nothing about virtual reality ever says it's welcome for a woman, non-gamers. If you look at like the Oculus store, it just has like a picture of a woman, like, and then you have like all these games. So from an inclusion standpoint, there needs to be more inclusion for people of color, many different races, many different genders, and so that's what I think is another barrier.
I see. So XR technology is for everyone, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
All right. So in terms of application of XR in beyond entertainment, Dr. Andrew and Mr. Faris, from your perspective, what are some of the key industries that would benefit from adopting XR technologies? Dr. Andrew, start.
Well, okay, practically every industry can benefit, right? So, but I will just focus on a couple, right?
Yeah.
There are statistics that show that education and retail in particular, these two verticals have the greatest potential for leveraging XR.
Okay.
And these two verticals are the ones that are falling short the most of reaching their potential. And I focus on education. So why is education not fulfilling its potential? Conventional methods of practice in education, they are not fulfilling the needs of students in today's world. There's a gap between how educational content is delivered and what students really need to learn in today's world. So education would greatly benefit from XR. XR enables more kinesthetic learning, which means learning by doing physical actions and so on. And with kinesthetic learning, there's greater learning outcomes in terms of retention of knowledge, understanding of concepts, especially abstract high-level concepts. And XR also encourages independent learning. And just to further the point about kinesthetic learning, there's a concept called gestural congruence from the field of psychology, where your actions can promote the understanding of higher level thinking in your mind. So we look at a subject like mathematics, and a lot of people find mathematics really, really difficult. But language to us, especially our mother tongue, it comes very naturally to us. When we communicate, we don't even think, right? We just say what comes to our mind, and the words just come naturally. So with XR, I really believe that subjects like mathematics, we could learn how to use mathematics as if it's a language. So instead of remembering a set of formulae and equations, whenever we encounter a problem that requires mathematics, it just comes naturally to us. And how we can achieve this is by designing mathematical educational content so that it involves all your senses, it involves your physical actions, and the content is designed so that it immerses you so that you can get a deep understanding of the concepts. And as you go through these lessons, another benefit of XR is that education time is much less, it's much faster for people to understand and absorb. So as people go through XR lessons for mathematics, they'll be able to understand a lot more and be able to put it into practice in a much more natural way. That's what I truly believe. And that is the true potential that XR can bring to education.
I see. Wow, that's interesting subject. You choose mathematics as an example. Okay. All right. Maybe Faris, how about you?
Yeah, to me, I would say touching a little bit on education, but it's more on the training and simulation side. I think that is a big potential there. looking at, especially in Malaysia, there's a lot of this thing called 3D, dangerous, dirty, and difficult. So having having a local to actually work into these areas are really challenging. But if you are able to provide the simulation here in Malaysia on how things would be, so it gives a little bit, it softens the impact of this 3D effect to a person. So I think that is a big opportunity that you're talking about, oil and gas, construction. So you can have all these training contents to be deployed into many companies in Malaysia. So that is one, and secondly is medical. I think this is a bit more closer to home for me. One of the things that we want to address with our product Merver is when you have a physio treatment, you have to be in some specific place. But by having VR, you can actually have the doctor to actually remotely monitor the patient's progress. And whatever they are experiencing through VR is actually a gamification of the treatment as well. So in a way, having a rehab process is actually has everything to do with consistency. So having that motivation when you gamify things, you check that box of consistency, thus will make you heal better, faster, right? So I think that's one of the points that I would say, XR could contribute to these two different sectors.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, let's go on to the fourth question. Okay, Miss Casey, how do you think the technological innovation trends will play out in the near future for XR? Any prediction, insights, or forecasts to share with us all?
Yeah, absolutely. So I really think that we're going to start to see a lot more sports adopt the either virtual reality, augmented reality, or some sort of mixed reality. We've seen just how an entire industry could be wiped away by a pandemic. No longer are we able to get hundreds of thousands of people in the same location. We had to cancel the Olympics. Now, these are things, these are way beyond my expertise, even though I do come from a sporting background. But I do predict these technologies will be used in the future to still produce that national pride, still produce these Olympic champion athletes, and bring fans together around the globe. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but the NBA just signed a multi-year deal with Oculus. So that is a good sign of things to come. On the other end, on the aspect of it, I personally have explored the opportunity to connect with people in relationships during COVID, doing long distance dating in virtual reality.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to go and see people. So you have these social interactions that we are able to do in a shared space. Now, I think that's going to be become more and more prominent in the future to maintain the safety of the globe. Kind of the same way Facebook grew. We were building these communities, and that's what we're able to do inside of a shared space in virtual reality. So that's my prediction.
Cool. Can it be as big as Facebook, like last time?
Well, Facebook is going to be is Oculus, and in a few years, people are not going to be able to sign up to an Oculus account. They just need a Facebook account. So
exactly.
Same.
Okay, Mr. Hevin, what's your opinion on this? On the technological innovation trends will play out in the near future for XR?
Yeah, we're going to see it like the smartphone. So all the equipment going to be smaller and smaller. And later on, it might be getting bigger like our smartphone today. I'm not sure. But as we can see, the wearable device is a trend right now. So you can see the Apple and Google actually they actually go into the AR glasses, and Samsung they even found a pattern for the contact lens kind of a device. So yeah, maybe if the pandemic didn't happen, you might take another 10 years, 20 years. But because of this, a lot of things have been accelerated. So as well as how the way that we change the social, the way the network, how we contact each other, as well as for the telecommunication. For example, like no longer just a conference call like this. Okay, we might do it in VR or AR, or so-called hologram. A lot of people ask us, how about hologram? We can't do hologram right now, but you easily can get it in VR and AR, yes, or MR. Another thing would be 5G. So when you do the wearable device, how to get some smaller? Actually, you need to have the fast internet. So when everything can be rendering from on cloud rendering, so then our device can be smaller. So another thing will be the wireless charging. So these are the two major things we see when the things come out. Then yeah, a contact lens for AR that will be replace everything. Actually there's one report from the Shenzhen, so they actually predict that they will be happen in the next 5 years. So let's see. But they to wear the contact lens or not, I'm not sure because I don't wear glasses.
I see, I see. So in a way, it's gonna solve most of the issues and challenges that we have shared just now, yeah?
Yeah.
With the 5G and also the advancement of devices. So no need to have a bulky devices, just need to have a screen only. And everything is streamed from cloud, right?
Because the world has been forced to go into this.
Okay. I believe maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, we no longer have laptops, longer have a phone, smartphone. Everything is from the eye only.
The world is your computer.
Ah,
That's what you know. Earlier when I introduced my company, we used the term spatial computing. Spatial computing refers to your space is the computer. The user interface is transparent, meaning to say the user doesn't be distracted, doesn't even notice that there's any hardware or any window to tap, button to click. The user is supposed to focus 100% on the task so that they can be fully efficient, make no mistakes, and have all the information and data that they need coming to them contextually relevant so that they can make the best decisions in whatever task they're doing.
there's a very promising future. Okay. Maybe we go on to the fifth question. Okay, Dr. Andrew and Miss Casey, what is your one recommendation for any companies, especially for those who are not from the game industry, that is looking to integrate XR technologies into their business operations, products, and so on? What's your recommendation?
Okay, may I go first?
Yeah.
For me, as you know, in our company as well, our philosophy is user experience. So the thing is, always think about the user first. XR is basically a human or user-centric technology. AI is for computers to automate tasks and so on. But when you're using XR, you are using it for applications that require human intervention. So when you're thinking about your business, right, what products to make, you think about the problems that users face, and XR is such a new domain, right? That if you are thinking in terms of traditional computer application development, you might not hit the right notes, right? So we always say in our company, fall in love with the problem. You really understand all the issues that people face. You have to study them. You have to conduct research, understand them at a very deep level. You need to bring in psychological concepts and understanding to design your XR experience, right? So you got to make the interaction and information provided by the XR interface as intuitive and relevant as possible for the application. As you are developing the whole system as well, it's not just the XR experience, but whole overall system. It all has to make sense for the user. So if any especially now as XR is still brand new. If you need to have tutorials, additional information, explanations about experience, these have to be made as clear and concise as possible. The thing about XR is that if any part of the user experience falls short, it detracts greatly from the product or application you are developing. It might even render it obsolete.
Okay,
That's the key. Yeah.
I see. Okay, how about Miss Casey? Any
Yeah.
recommendation?
Sorry, I have a airplane flying above
Oh.
me real quick.
Okay. All right, sure. Pass soon.
Wow, it will. I wanted to echo what Andrew was talking about. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Those are
It's a very slow airplane.
Don't get so many of that nowadays.
Yeah. So maybe anyone want to add while waiting for Casey?
Okay, I think it just went by.
All right.
I wanted to echo what Andrew said, and I think a lot of people or a lot of companies actually see, oh yeah, we need to do XR, we need to do VR, we need to do AR. But a lot of times they really don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
So that's where we always tend to start when we're thinking about building a solution is what is the problem? How can we solve it? Is even AR or VR the best choice for this? And that is definitely the question that needs to be asked. Like I've turned away work, we've turned away projects because we were like, hey, this could be done this way, a lot cheaper and a lot quicker, and it solves the problem. So for people that are interested, try to learn about the different industries, but really start with the problem that you're trying to solve. And as Andrew was saying, when the user experience, I'm going to say that human experience is not good, people are just not going to use it, and you just wasted millions of dollars maybe.
Don't go for it because it's cool, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit like blockchain, huh?
Yeah.
There's a company who sold iced tea, Long Island iced tea, and they added, they changed their company name to Blockchain Iced Tea, and their stock price went up. But blockchain did nothing for the product. Now we see a lot of these businesses that jumped into blockchain just for the sake of saying that they use blockchain.
They use
Yeah,
the
but these are
technology.
starting to fade away. Yeah.
True. Okay, don't be like that. We fully understand what you are getting into first. All right. Maybe this is going to be the last question for Mr. Faris and Mr. Hevin. Okay. Do you have any final messages or hope for the local players, maybe governments or policymakers and others about this exciting technology? Maybe start with Faris.
I would say we need to do a lot more awareness programs because in our industry there's a lot of jargons and sometimes it gets a little bit troublesome just to explain what I do, basically even to my parents, right? So I think we need to do a lot more awareness, not only for the public, but basically everyone, even our clients. All right. So in order for us to actually give a better service, I think our potential buyers also needs to understand what they're buying into, to basically prevent from miscommunication and all that. So I think there are a lot of programs out there, but I think there need to be more. And I think us as industry players as well need to share a lot more information out there. We need to make things a bit more open to sharing. I think that is for the good for the industry as well. Yeah.
Okay. So awareness. All right. How about Mr. Hevin?
Yeah. Recently, we just signed up with some of the entity to actually establish the SR center in Malaysia. So there will be another three more locations to be open. So currently we are looking for the collaboration as well. Since we have the first one, the Malaysia SR center. So inside the center we have plenty of the experience actually coming from our 40 members. So from from non-entertainment, mostly actually is for industry use, because that's what the SME company and the corporation actually they're looking for, the experience, like how can SR helping my company business activity. But as Casey said, it doesn't matter. I mean, you must use SR, but we show them some of the showcase. So first thing we going to pitch to some of the company, they ask you to can you show me some POC, because they haven't seen it before. So none of the developer can build everything as a POC and just to show you the demo. It's too costly for us. That is why the center actually will be showing the different kind of content from different studio. And when they have like raising up some question, or they want to customize some of the content, then that would be the main way to go. So I heard that actually government are pushing it, but it doesn't put into the framework. So there's no actually direction, and just maybe it's a business center if you ask me. Right? So another things would be like a lot of company they actually also receive like Industry 4.0. Right, they try to understand what it is. I think our government spent like 4-5 years to explain it, and recently there's a funding ready for them to apply. So, but once go to that, I heard that in the past 1-2 years they only received like 20 out of the 100 target. So, which means the proposal they received are not up to the expectation, because those companies they do know how to prepare proposal for that funding or grants. So from our point of view, as our company actually like association like us, actually providing a lot of consultant to the service to them. I heard that like the association, like the global size of the association also doing that. So for local, actually it's free of charge. We just help them to prepare educate them and give them the awareness for their team member. It's not only just for the CEO, as like Dr. Hughes said. Actually, they just want to make the stock go up. So yeah, I heard about that as well. But our point of view actually to help them to prepare the good proposal, to make sure they understand how this technology can help their product to increase their productivity or safety and so on. For example, like some of the industry, biggest industry in Malaysia, like manufacturing company, they actually start to go into it, and we are one of the supplier to help them to prepare all the such thing. So that will be one thing that we need our government to help before they set up the funding. I think there's education that we need to explain to them how to use that technology, right?
Okay, all right. Anybody else want to add? Maybe any message to the rest of the audience? Okay, all right. Nobody? Okay, so basically we have come to an end of this session. So thank you so much for all the panelists for your sharing. It's been informative and very beneficial, I believe, to all audiences today. And I hope everyone is having fun and learn a lot about this exciting technology. Okay, so how about we go straight to the Q&A session, shall we?